Welcome to the Lightning Out the Bottle podcast. I am your host, Mr. Leach, and thank you guys for joining me today on another great day. We get to talk about Charger football. The draft is getting closer and closer and closer. My friends are starting to breathe down our necks. I'm feeling a little bit nervous, wondering what we're going to do. I actually cannot wait to see how this front office does in this draft with 10 picks and a gang of money. Like, the pressure is not even on them at all. They have a clear slate to just do what they want to do. We filled out the roster nicely during free agency. They've done a wonderful job at that. So the roster is not in a position where we absolutely can go into the season with what we have, but we are in the position to pick the best available player. So that gets me really, really excited. Really, really excited, So in this draft, we went ahead and we decided to explore the trade down option. I know you guys are so anti trading down, but we did this again. This draft is stacked with the guys that you need to win Super Bowls. This isn't a star-studded draft, but this is a lunch pail-studded draft. There's players in this draft that are 13, 14 year careers performing at a high level, and there's a lot of them. That's why they're saying that this draft is deep at a lot of positions, because it absolutely is. So we explored a trade down in this draft just to see what we could get. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and jump right into this thing. So we went ahead and traded the 22nd pick with the Eagles for the 32nd pick in the first round. We were able to get the 96th pick in the third round, the 164th and the 165th pick in the fifth round, and a fifth round pick next year in the 2026 draft. So we got a pretty good haul for that pick. I'm not upset with that at all. To pick up 3 extra picks, one in the third and then two in the fifth back to back, I mean that works. And just to move down 10 spots, so you still have a first round pick. So that was actually a very, very good pick, I think, and we were able to pick up some value. So with that pick that we traded away, we ended up getting Donovan Azaruko. Donovan Azaroku is just a menace. That's the only way to really describe him. He is a menace on the field. He is a big, big, strong guy. He's 6'2" and a half, 248 pounds. He's very, very good with the swim moves. He plays very aggressively. He's after the quarterback. I mean, he had 80 tackles. That lets you know that he was after the ball a lot. 37 solo tackles, 43 assists. So he's always around the ball. And if he's not the one that gets to you first, he gonna come over there and smack you while his boy is hitting you too. So now you got a guy he's imposing himself on these offenses, and he's a vicious. He's vicious. He's out of Boston College. He got great hip movement. I mean, that's how he's able to bend around that corner like that. He has 16 and a half sacks, man. 16 and a half sacks, 3 forced fumbles. And he produced all 4 years in college. I mean, this is as safe as a pick that you could probably get at the end position. And that's something that would be great to bring in, because that way you don't need Khalil Mack to be playing all season. We want to be able to give him rest all throughout the season. And, if we get to the playoffs, then we have a fresh Khalil Mack. But we definitely don't want him to have to play every snap for 17 weeks. That's not feasible. And then ask him to go into the playoffs. So, this is a great pick that's going to help out their defense a lot. I'm sure Jesse Minter would be happy with this pick. That was a good pick. With our second round pick at 55, we draft tight end Mason Taylor out of LSU. 6'5", 251 pounds. I mean, 10-inch hands. He comes from a great football lineage. Father is Jason Taylor from the Miami Dolphins defensive end. This was a great pickup too. I really, really like him. He had 55 catches for 546 yards, 2 touchdowns, I believe. He averaged 9 yards a catch. I can see it increasing with Justin Herbert though. I mean, the fact that you'll come to a team and you'll have Justin Herbert throwing you the ball. This kid is very smooth in his routes. He's very, very smooth in his routes. That's what I like about him. He does remind me of a slot receiver. He's going to be a big addition if we're able to draft him at that spot. He'll come in, he'll take pressure off Ladd. He'll open things up downfield for Mike Williams, and that'll be a great addition. So with the 55 pick, we went ahead to Mason Taylor. So great investment there. Great investment. Next, we had Jalen Nolan at pick 86, wide receiver out of Iowa State. So we went ahead and addressed those issues early. Those the running back and I'm sorry the tight end and the wide receiver. We addressed those early. With Jalen Noel is going to come in with this pick. He's 5'10", 194 yards. I mean, 194 pounds. He ran a 4.39 40-yard dash. So he has that speed element that we're really lacking. Him being a 5'10", I think he would be the perfect player to run off ball to Lad McConkey. So when you have Lad going one way, you have this guy going the other way. Williams going down the field. This would be because he gets open almost exactly the way Lad McConkey gets open. So if you have two receivers like that coming across after you just drafted Mason Taylor too, and you have Tyler Conklin, now you have an offense that can go air raid or run the ball, right? So with Najee Harris, so this would be a great addition. You get Jalen Noel, add him to the team. He would be a great addition to this team, and we definitely need outside receiver. He can switch off with Lad too. He goes slot and Lad go outside and vice versa. So that I feel like that would be the perfect addition to the team at this pick. You get speed, you get somebody who's a great route runner, who can be the opposite side of Lad McConkey. The problem he is on this side, Jalen Noel can be on that side, and I think that will work well. For this team, especially with Mason Taylor in the mix too, and Tyler Conklin. Now you got some good receivers out in the field that Justin Herbert can get the ball to. Okay, so pick 96. Okay, well, this is our first trade pick that we got off of the trade, and with that pick, we picked the crowd favorite. You guys are gonna love him, running back Cam Scatterboo. So, I mean, I couldn't. He was there. What do you want me to do? I have to pick him, man. He does too much. He's just too much. He is probably the fan favorite out of this draft. But the kid does everything right. 293 carries, 1,711 yards, and 21 touchdowns on 5.8 yards per carry. That's uncalled for, right? That's uncalled for. He had 100 and uh check the stat out. This is a beautiful stat that I loved a lot. This man has 0 fumbles all 4 years. On 703 carries throughout his college career, Cam Scatterboo never fumbled the ball. Yeah, we'll take him. We'll take him. Oh yeah, and he had 45 receptions with 605 yards and 3 touchdowns. So add that on top of the 21 rush touchdowns, he had 24 touchdowns, right? And he had over 2,300 yards. So that would be one of the best additions. I mean, he's built low to the ground, compact, muscular, right? He runs through tackles, right? He's a very strong runner. Now, he's not to be confused with a very big runner because he is not. Now, he would add lightning to that thunder mixed with Najee Harris, and I think people are thinking he's a power runner, and that is not what he would be in the NFL. He would break some tackles, but it's a different ball game. He's only 215 pounds, 220 pounds. He's in that range. Um, and that's not you. I mean, he could, but there's no reason to do that. Use him more on, the flats and out routes, out patterns, out handoffs outside, those type of things. As opposed to just running him between the tackles, and then you throw in a few of those run between the tackles because he can definitely do that. But yeah, this would be a great pickup in addition to the roster. So now if you know the thing, we taking care of that offense early, right? We grab our edge rusher, we grab our tight end, we grab our wide receiver, and we grab our running back. So now we're set offensively as far as skill positions, right? We went ahead and addressed those in the first 4 picks, thanks to that trade. Now we still need somebody on the line. So with that 125th pick, we take Jamari Caldwell, D tackle out of Oregon. He has 16 tackles and 3 passes defended. Okay. He's 6'2", 332 pounds, has 32-inch arms. Um, he's a pretty big boy. He's short, stout, compact, 332 yards. He wrecks the center of these defenses though. He wrecks the center of these defenses. I mean, he just up the man. He may not get the tackle, but he plays more of the second level of that defensive line, though. He's not the pass rusher per se. He's the one that's standing there when the quarterback tries to get out of the pocket. That's where he plays at, and that's where he has mastered the field. So you're not going to see a lot of tackles from a player like that, but what he does is wreaks the havoc that makes that quarterback get off of his square. He pushes him off of the square. He has to either scramble or he has to bounce outside because he can't come up. There's no stepping up in the pocket the way this guy destroys the center of line. So I really like him at that position at 125. Um, so that he does need to work on his balance when he's trying to get against the run, get blocked against the run. He does need to work on that, get a little bit square. He does very well against the run, but he does need to get a little bit stronger because he ends up on the ground too much. I don't like that. But definitely at that position in the draft, that's a great D tackle to find still on the board. Now at the 158 pick, we picked linebacker out of Georgia, Smile Munden Jr. This kid, man, 57 tackles, 29 solo, 28 assists. So another guy that's always around the ball. He had 3 sacks, 3 passes deflected. I mean, he's a wrecker in the middle of that field. He for me, drafting this kid right here would be Derwin James 2.0. The way he plays, he's a linebacker, but he's basically the same position Derwin James plays. That's how he plays on the field. He's ridiculous in the runs. He covers the flats. He's blitzing. He blitzes a lot. He's a cross between the edge rusher and Derwin James. That's what he is. He would be perfect to bring in and let him learn that position the way Derwin James plays it. Excuse me, because we do have that. We definitely have about 2 to 3 years of Derwin James playing at an elite level, and then we'll start to see a drop off. So I think we got to have a guy on the team that plays at that position, but he's not a threat to take Derwin's position, which he wouldn't be this early anyway. But he definitely could come in, learn behind Derwin, and he would be a monster in that Jesse Minter defense. I think he has great experience in high leverage over games. Over 3 seasons, he plays the edge uncovered very very well. Um, he is a very good linebacker, right? Coming out of Georgia, he's very experienced playing in the SEC. So yeah, that would be a great position to grab him at 158. So at 164, we got Miles Frazier, inside offensive lineman. Um, this guy's a great pulling blocker. He plays mostly left guard, a right guard. I'm sorry. He keeps his head on the swivel, which is what I like a lot about him. He does keep his head on the swivel. He's looking for blocks. He's looking for places to get. He keeps his feet moving. I love that for a guard. He's like I said, he's great pulling, great blocker. So that would be a great pick to add to this line. We have to add some depth to this interior offensive line. We can't be done. We need to add at least one piece, 2 pieces maybe to this interior of this offensive line, just for some depth at the very least, and young competition. So this would be a great guy to bring in as a competition. This guy picks up well on stunts and twists. So like I said, he keeps his head on swivel, so he sees it coming. He has great IQ, which I like about him. He Yeah, this would be a great addition. Needs to get a little bit stronger though. He has a great size and everything, but he does need to get a little bit stronger. He has very small hands too, which is a negative, and he does need to play a little bit lower because of that. To gain better leverage. Um, he definitely needs to do that, but I think they'll coach him up, and I think he'd do well in our system. All right, pick 165. We got offensive tackle Jalen Rivers. Listen, we got to get tackled. I know we have two starting tackles. Everybody knows this, but behind that we don't have nothing, right? Trey Pipkins is still on this roster, so I don't hear nothing y'all got to say. We need to get a tackle. It's just there's no way around it. This guy's 6'6", 319 pounds, out of Miami. He's very experienced. He swallows defenders up. He's a big human being. Okay, he anchors strength, will force two gappers to work. Like he's a great addition to a line as a swing tackle. I can't remember. I think he played mostly on the left side of the line too. He played left tackle, so he would be a great addition to the team, and we definitely need to add to that tackle. We need everybody on the line. Oh no, we want everybody on the line. We don't need tackles, but we do need a tackle if that makes sense to you guys. So drafting this kid right here would be a great addition to the line. I think he would come in and challenge immediately for that swing tackle position. Trey Pipkins is really the only one I'm even considering. Jamari Sawyer, we're not doing that. So yeah, this would be a great addition to that line. So with the line with the draft so far, we've taken care of pretty much every need that we have. We grabbed the edge rusher, we grabbed the tight end, we grabbed the wide receiver, we grabbed running back, we grabbed a D lineman, we grabbed a linebacker, we grabbed an interior offensive lineman, and we grabbed the tackle. So we are good to rock and roll, really, and we still got 10 more picks. So, you know, we drafted somebody else for Derwin. We drafted Jalen Reed, 181, safety out of Penn State. Okay? Jalen Reed is a great safety. That's to say the least. He had 98 tackles. 51 of those were solo tackles, and 47 of them were assists. He has 2.5 sacks, one forced fumble, fumble recovery. He has 3 picks. Right, he has 50 yards and a touchdown, and 3 passes deflected. So when I tell you this guy is a great safety, this is a great safety. Okay, and he's strong. He's big, 6 foot, 211 pounds. He's physical. He plays down low in the box. He's another guy that can come in and play with Derwin, right? This kid right here, I mean, he plays fantastic in zone coverage. So putting him in a zone coverage heavy defensive scheme with Derwin James right back there and Deion Henley in the middle, right? Kind of guiding him around where he wants to go. This kid right here could be spectacular. Okay? This would be a great pickup for us, I believe. Right? Because he is a blitzing safety as well, he adds another dimension that's just like Derwin, and he's a run support safety. So he's coming up and he's hitting people a lot. As you can see with 51 solo tackles. That's unbelievable for a safety to have that. So adding this kid to the defense just stacks that defense that much more, right? So now you get a D lineman, a D edge rusher, you get linebacker, and you get a safety. So now that defense is looking pretty heftier too. So it's very important to take advantage of deep drafts when you see them. This would be a pretty deep draft, and there were guys still left on the board where it's like wow. But earlier in the draft, we took a wide receiver, and that wide receiver is going to be more of a slot outside wide receiver. So we wanted to draft a true X. So that 199th pick, we picked up Dante Thornton, wide receiver out of Tennessee. He had 26 catches for 661 yards, 6 touchdowns. He averaged 25.4 yards per catch. Okay, he's 6'5", 205 pounds, runs a 4.3 flat 40. Okay, that at 6'5", 205 pounds, he runs a 4.3 40. All 9 routes. All 9 routes. Now this is a true X wide receiver. And you get a guy like this and let him sit behind Mike Williams for a year. So think about it. Now you're talking about having Mike Williams, Ladd McConkey, Jalen Noel, right? And you have Mason Taylor and Tyler Conklin on the inside. And you have Najee Harris in the backfield. Now this team is stacked, right? With Dante Thornton sitting behind Mike Williams, learning how to play the X receiver for a year, which is what Mike Williams' contract is. Depending on whether he stays healthy or not, he could get in this year too. So you have that kid behind Mike Williams learning the true X role. Now you come out next year and you have a 6'5" guy. His contested catch is through the roof. I think it's like 71% or something like that. Now you have a guy who does not lose in contest. He runs a 4.3 40. The only problem with him is he only runs the top of the route tree. That's all he runs. 7, 8, 9. That's it. Deep post in, deep post out, and he run 9 routes. Right? That's what he has. So he needs to be coached up on how to run routes. That's why I think if they sitting down for a year, let him just run routes all year and develop that route tree, he'll be the most unstoppable wide receiver we ever seen. If they do that for a player that has this skill set, he would be the best wide receiver in this league. And I would not doubt that for a second because he has the physical attributes and he has great hands and he's a great contested catcher. He just can't run routes. So if you give him a year to learn how to run routes properly, just 2, 3 routes, right? Where you can add those in, right? Mid range routes and some short range routes. You get some of those, get him the ball right off of the back, let him run on a zero route. Those are beautiful little routes for him to get just yardage on, right? And get used to doing those, but he doesn't really do that well. So he's more of just a man, you so good, just run deep, we'll throw you the ball. Similar to Randy Moss. He has that type of route running capability where I'm just running these deep routes. Just throw me the ball, I'll go get it. You know what I mean? So that would be a great addition. That would fill out our whole offense, I think, completely. Just with the additions of these guys in the draft, it would fill them out completely. So with the 209th pick, we took edge rusher out of Texas, Baron Sorrell. Now, Baron Sorrell is very interesting. He had 44 tackles, 16 solos, 28 assists, 6 sacks, right? 1 pass defended, and he had a fumble recovery. Played next to Vernon Broughton. They were a great tandem. That's why they were so good over there in Texas. He has good bend around the corner. He's a great run stopper. He stays at home. Okay. It's like I say, 6'3", 256 pounds. He ran the 1.6 yard split and a 4.68 40-yard dash. So he's a sub 4.7 40 defensive lineman. So that should let you know. He ran a 4.36 20-yard shuttle, 7-second cone drill. So he's a very athletic, good edge rusher right there, and he has great bend. Like I said, he's not a brute pass rusher, but he does have technique. He loves the swim move, he does it very, very well. So now you add 2 edge rushers to that room. So now you have Bud Dupree and Thule and Mack, and 2 of those players are on 1-year deals. So now either this year or next year we have to draft 3 edge rushers, right? Between then and then to have a full room, because otherwise, right now, next year, all we have is Thule. So now you bring in Ezra Roku and you Baron Sorrell. Now you have 5 edge rushers, and you're not stressing out to get these 2 contracts done with Mac next year or Bud Dupree or trying to figure out what you want to do. You have 2 good guys in the system for a year ready to take off. So you go ahead and you take care of that. And these are great edge rushers because this is a very, very deep draft. These are guys that you could have on the team. They're going to have successful careers for the next 10, 15 years. You may not hear a lot about them stat-wise, but they will have great careers because they're the type of get-it-out-the-mud players that Super Bowl teams are built on. All right. At the 214th pick, we took an old favorite, Jake Majors, center out of Texas. So we went right back to Texas, got us another player from out there. Listen, we all love Jake Majors from the beginning. He slipped a lot. Maybe a round or 2 he slipped back. So this was a great find at 214. He's a great project center. That's what he is. He's a big, strong, physical center. He seeks out blocks. He doesn't have the best footwork, but he has a great understanding of protections. His pass sets are very good, and his punch is good. It's hard. It's straight to the point. He's a pretty good option as a project center, I think, because with Andre James coming in, we're pretty good at center. I trust him more than I trust Bozeman. We'll see what happens with Zion and them giving him snaps. But this would be a great guy to just have for the next couple of years. You can go ahead and try to coach him up, see how good he gets, because he has the potential to become something. But at the 214th pick, I'm definitely willing to invest in that interior offensive line again. I think Jake Majors is as good as anybody this late, and definitely take a flyer on him. Now, at the 256th pick, we catch Bilal Cohn, cornerback out of Western Michigan. Okay, the guy is 6'1", 190 pounds. He runs a 4.4 40, a 1.54 10-yard split. So, he has a broad jump of 10.4, and he has a vertical jump of about 31.5 inches. Bilal Cohn has 70 tackles, 45 solo tackles, 25 assists, 2 fumbles recovered, 1 interception, and 8 pass defended. He's 6'2", like I said, 6'2", 190 pounds. He's a physical cornerback. He's going to hit somebody. He has pretty good ball skills. He actually is very good at tracking the wide receiver's hands to get his hands in there and knock the ball out. He's fantastic at that. He has good ball skills. He's not a ball hawk, so he's not going to get a ton of interceptions, but he has really, really, really good ball skills. And I think he would surprise a lot of people in the NFL because nobody's really, really paying attention to who he is. He's very underrated. He's a great tackler, right? He's great at reading receivers. Like I said, he plays close enough and he plays well enough to where he can look at the wide receiver and see when they put their hands up, where they put him up and they can get his hand in there and block it. And that's very important at the next level. Um, he's not the fastest, but he is able to stay up with some of the top wide receivers that I saw him playing against. So at the 256 pick, you snatch you a cornerback that's going to be a pretty good cornerback in this league. I really do believe. I think he would be still in the draft, kind of like Tarheeb and Cam Hart were. If we could get him at the last pick in the 7th round, that would just be amazing. He's actually slated to go undrafted, but I think this is the kid that you go ahead and sign him or pick him with that last pick just to make sure that nobody else can get him, because we're definitely going to need a player like that. But anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Let me know if you like this draft. We went ahead and got 3 extra picks. Picked up some pretty good players with those picks. So let me know down in the comments what you think. What you would change, if you like the trade back option, if you want to trade up. Let me know everything that you guys think. Leave me a comment. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you get my video first. And as always, bolt up.